Hey folks, good evening. We're getting a 4 for another installment of the Red Book of Magic. Continuing with the S spells, we are going to continue with stones to kill chaos. New spell. It is a one-use spell. It enchants a rock that when it is thrown at a target and hits the target, the spell effect takes effect. Okay, the stones don't need to penetrate armor. The target cannot resist the magical effect. The stone's effect is tied to its color, which is tied to the ceremony, reason, whatever, right? Color of rock does a certain effect. Okay. Kyger Litor forbids killing trolls specifically for making these stones, but does not forbid making them from trolls who died from other causes or killed for other reasons. Okay, good to know. Okay, there are 5 colors of these stones. First one is black. A black stone will negate a chaos feature from the target for 1d6 hours. If the target has more than one chaos feature, it chooses which one is negated. Okay, now, the ritual part of this is that the enchanter must eat the heart of a dead troll who in life had a power of 10 or more. Okay. Blue stones drain magic points. The enchanter must eat a dead being. So it can be any being who has an intelligence of 12 or more. Well, in life, right? Because when they're dead, they don't have intelligence. Okay. If the being had an intelligence of 12 to 14, the stone will drain 1d10 magic points. If it was an intelligence of 15 to 17, it drains 2d10 magic points. And if it had 18 or more intelligence, then it drains 3d10 magic points. Sounds to me like a spell designed for eating elder yami. Okay. Third one, green stones. These are unique because they're thrown at your friends instead of at your enemies. Okay. These heal damage caused by any chaos attack. Okay. I think it's pretty broad. Interpret as you will. To hit, there's a sequence of types of healing go on. The first type of healing is location damage, right? You've taken 4 points of damage to your arm. This will heal your arm damage first. Target's choice on limb damage. Then it can heal general, which I believe they mean total hit points rather than damage done to general hit points only. Because it didn't say anything about healing the location and the associated total hit points. Maybe I'm being a little tight-fisted on this, I don't know. Okay. Third level, if you will, is damage to characteristics. Again, the target's choice. Location is healed first, then general hit points, then damage to characteristics. So you have to have all your locations healed and all your total hit points healed before it can actually start to heal any characteristics. Okay, I follow that. Okay. The enchanter must eat an earth cultist, preferably a priestess or a god talker, but not required. For every 3 rune points the earth cultist had when it was alive, the stone will heal 1d6 damage when used. Hence, preferable priestess or god talker because they'll have more rune points. Okay. 4 yellow stones, not the park. Sorry. They do damage. Yeah, okay. They do hit points of damage, right? This damage is ineffective if it's thrown by a troll, though. So it has to be thrown by an ally or someone encouraged to throw the stones, right? Okay. The enchanter has to eat an entire fire elemental. If its power is 6 or more, the stone does 1d10 hit points of damage. If it has 12 or more points of power, if it had 12 or more points of power, it does 2d10 points of damage. If it had 3 points of power, it does 3 points of power. If it had 6, 12, 18 points of power, it does 3d10 damage, and so forth. Why they had to take and say that 3 different times, 3 different ways, in a whole length of paragraph, I'm not sure. And while the additional stuff is listed after the basic stuff, I'm not sure about that either. So anyway, does damage. How much power the fire elemental has determines how much damage the stone does. Okay. The elemental can only be destroyed for this ritual by using the bite attack. No other weapons, no other magical attacks are permitted, but magical enhancements are allowed. So, when I was first reading this, I'm going, holy cow, because I treat elementals as spirits, which means it takes magic to kill and hurt them. You can't just beat a fire elemental with a stick, unless you do, bludgeon 3 on it or something. Because when you got a small elemental, you can take them out lickety split. They've got no hit points, or very few hit points, right? And that did not sit well with me. So that's why they are spirits. They're embodied spirits, but they're still spirits. So it takes magic to hurt them. In my Glorantha. Well, it says the bite attack only, going, holy cow. How are we going to do any damage to a fire elemental if you're only using a bite, in my Glorantha kind of thing? But since magical enhancements are allowed, was it Iron Hand does bites? Or is there an Iron Tooth version for biting? Do trolls have sharp teeth, in which case they impale? Some kind of impaling bonus? I know there's a slash spell that gives them bonuses for damage. Things you can do to increase the damage of your bite. Okay. Okay. 5th stone are brown. Most powerful and spectacular. They break any chaos monster struck into 1d4 pieces. If you're broken to one piece, nothing happens, sorry. But if you break them into other pieces, they're dead. It does not work on Gorp. Okay, the enchanter has to eat a being of any sort that has been killed by lightning. That's hard to find. Okay. Stop Resurrection. New spell. The spell cast by a Sword of Humat, which gives us a, you've got to be a rune guy. This is a one-use spell, by the way. On a corpse. Okay. So the person is already dead. It prevents any resurrection ritual from affecting the corpse. Good to go. Including those of form vampires or zombies. Now, is there a form zombie spell? Or is it a create? Did we do create vampires? I know we did create zombies. Okay, we did not do create vampires. So vampires got to be a different spell somewhere else. But zombies, as we are told back in the create zombie spell, unless there's a form zombie spell, but it's not listed here because we went through F already, zombies do not have the spirit of the original owner bound to them. So that's the question I have now, reading it going. Is the issue original owner, or is the issue bound? The way I had read this initially was because they're mindless magical constructs, but they do have intelligence. They've got 2d6 intelligence. So I had to first envision some kind of spirit animating the zombie. This says the zombies do not have the spirit of the original owner bound to them. So is there a spirit bound to them? I think so. Original spirit? Absolutely not. Therefore, it is not a kind of resurrection, even in a perverted way. Now, a revenant? That's something else entirely different, because Revenant does have the original owner spirit. Okay. It says here that a divine intervention is not stopped by this spell. What kind of divine intervention affects a corpse? Because if you seek for divine intervention to keep alive or whatever on a killing blow, you're not dead yet. I don't know, maybe the guy's dead and then you get killed, you do divine intervention, you'll bring the whole party back to life. That's pretty weak. I don't think that'll work in any case. I don't know. Words mean things. Okay. Strength of Basmal. I think that's the lion shape changers. I don't know how to say that H word. Okay. 2-point spell. Oh, never mind. It's a new spell, right? Okay. This spell swells the target's sinews and muscles, giving them great strength and fury to smite the foes. So doubles current strength. You can go above species maximum, like most of these double things. Got a hair there, sorry. And it increases their chance of hitting with any weapon by 50%. So if you had a 60, it's now 90. Okay. The target cannot dodge, but they can parry, but at half. Okay. Strike, same spell. Cast upon a weapon, the next blow ignores armor. Can be parried and dodged, etc. So as long as the duration of the spell is as long as the 15 minutes haven't lost that right either. Special duration. So until this spell lasts, until that weapon actually hits somebody, right? Because it says when the weapon has successfully struck the target, the spell duration ends. And it's the next blow ignores all armor. So it lasts until you hit. That's how I interpret it. Okay. New spell, Strong Blade. Spell makes a sword or dagger unbreakable. No matter how much damage done to the weapon, no matter how much damage the weapon words, okay. When a weapon parries, it parries up to its hit points and damage. All of the damage over that goes into the target, right? Now, during a special or there are certain circumstances where, normally if you go over, then 1 point goes into the weapon, right? But there's some situations where the damage over the hit points do both go into the weapon and into the target. I've massaged that. I've got house rules about that. But that's how you can like snap a weapon in half, by doing a massive amount of damage to it, and it takes all that damage itself, right? Okay. Its hit points do not decrease. Which kind of brings into the question, the parry with weapon still only stops the weapon's hit points for the damage. Everything over that still goes through, right? It's not like it has infinite hit points like the Earth Shield, and therefore nothing gets through. No, because it says its hit points do not decrease. So even though you go over it, it still doesn't decrease. So still, that broadsword still only stops 12 or whatever it is, right? Okay. Strong Net, old spell. Makes the net unbreakable, so the trapped victim can only escape by unwrapping itself, tearing the net from the grip of the captor, or squeezing between the weave. I'd like to see somebody squeeze between the weave of a net. Although, if you did that spell that allows you to take on the form of other animals that you've sacrificed as that other spell, then sure, yeah, turn to a mouse and run through the weave. Okay. Styx Shore, new spell. This ritual must be performed on the shore of the river Styx in the underworld. It summons Jesset, the ferryman, in his boat to deliver the summoner and the companions to the far side. For this, Jesset charges a small fee of 1 copper clack or a small magical item of varying worth to the living who wish to use his services. Spring clacks. Okay. Submerge, new spell. Each point of this spell, each point stacked of this spell, cancels out the buoyancy of 1 cubic meter of any floating object, causing it to sink. Large objects require more points of submerge to pull down. So there's more points stacked to pull down. Objects already sinking sinks more swiftly. 1 point of submerge is enough to sink a human swimmer. Each point of submerge stacked cancels 2 points of float. Float's a rune spell. Why 2 points? If we look float up, we find that each point of float affects is 16 size. So I'm guessing they figured that 1 cubic meter is maybe 32 size, or some kind of rough equivalence thereof. And that's where we're going to stop tonight. Happy gaming.